So we're picking up exactly where we left off after finishing the final mission. After completing that mission, I just came back to the camp. I quick traveled.
We just
So let's take a look at some of the features, mechanics, start exploring the world and see what all the game has to offer. So the sharpshooter, I'm still level 1. That one will not be hard to complete. I'm not exactly sure what each tier does, so we'll find that out. One thing I will show you if I have enough gear is I'll start looking at the differences between Wildlands and this one. So this one does go by gear score. So like that makes me level 14. A gear score of 14. Not level 14. What is neat about this is, as you can see, it'll change the look of the character. Oh, that one's higher rank. But if you look at the bottom right, it says skin override. You can turn off the gear that you equip so that you can go by the character that you created when you created your character. So that's a nice, neat little feature I like. So you don't have to wear the gear that you equip. And of course you got your gun gears, level scores. So as you can see, this one's a lot more straightforward than Division 2. I'm at 10 on this one. Then you've got level 1, which is your standard. Then you've got level 8, which is, of course, 2 points lower than 10. And that's so much simpler than Division 2. So I understand where some people that did not really like the way they did gear score in Division 2, myself included. It was very confusing. And you had to just loot so much to get through Division. This one I think will work out a lot better. We'll look at more as we progress, of course. And then of course there's your standard level 1. And then here's your, and then I have a level 8. And of course level 11 is the highest gear score I currently have. So like I say, this one's just very simple. It's just literally counting up. So if you look right here, it says gear level is 8. It is the average of the entire level of your equipment. So if you see that I'll go back to 1, and I don't have any there. I mean, it went down to 7. So Now it went down to 6 when I equipped that one. That's interesting. 10. So I'm back up to 8. So it's an average, but there's your gear level. I'm not sure. Let's see. Does guns affect that? No. Looks like guns do not affect that. Yes, it does. I just equipped the sniper and it went up to gear level 9. So the loadout over here and the weapons affect it. So the gear and weapons affect the average of the gear level. So I am going to play with that one. Okay. So that's how that is working right now in the beta. But so far it has not bothered me. I played for a little over 2 hours with my other character build, and I personally did not receive any guns. Like, let's say the ASR. I didn't get multiple ASR at different levels. Like Division 2, you get the same gun but has better levels. So that's me personally. I don't know if that's going to be in the game at the final release, if you can collect multiple weapons. But this Taver, I did not. I've only gotten this level 8 specifically. So I've never received a Taver of, say, level 10. And so I do like that you don't have, that it does not look like it's going to be multiple of the same weapon with higher gear score. I believe the way it's going to work, I haven't quite gotten into all of this yet as I haven't had the equipment. I think when you unlock the gun, it has the initial gear score and then you have to upgrade it. And the assault rifle parts, metal parts, and of course, as you can see on the upgrade, that's an accuracy upgrade, and then it tells you the required components, assault rifle parts, metal parts for damage, and I do know that when you unlock so many, that it will go from the MK1 to MK2. I don't know how far you can upgrade your weapon as far as the gear score wise, but passive bonuses. These I know you can find in the game through Intel, as I showed in my previous videos. When you find Intel, it'll tell you where to find different scopes and magazines, muzzles, rail covers, and underbarrel. I will show you something else. So what you can do is, if you get a weapon that you don't particularly like or you don't think you're going to use right now, I'm not going to disable any or dismantle any of these, but as you can see, you can dismantle. Look at the lower part of this menu. you can dismantle it, and when you dismantle it, that's where you'll get your standard weapon parts, metal parts. Let's look at this one. Yeah, like if you dismantled an assault rifle, you'd get assault rifle part. You can get metal parts. You can also get these. I know you can get metal parts for sure through through the open world, finding them throughout the maps. Let's see. So that's the gear score. That's how it looks like it's going to work. And overall, so it's different than Wildlands. Ghost Recon Wildlands, you did not have any gear score. The weapons did not have a gear score. You could upgrade them. You could change the scopes and everything just like you can in this one. But they didn't have an actual gear score. Once you hit the tier 1 mode, you can actually upgrade the damage and other aspects of the weapon. Once you hit tier 1 in Ghost Recon Wildlands. But this one you're going to have crafting, and you have to find parts to upgrade the weapon. And you can also change colors here. Brown. And you can do it for individual. Like I could keep the magazine black. Okay. 0. I'll keep it black. That's nice. So I believe they did a very good job on, if you're going to have level and gear score, then this is a lot easier to keep track of and manage than Division 2. The one thing I am hoping to see in the final release of Breakpoint is, I'm hoping once you find a gun, that like the Taver, for instance, or the MK17, I hope once it's unlocked, and then you can just upgrade it. You can keep it in your inventory and just upgrade it as you go. Hopefully you won't have to find an MK17. This one's a level 9. I'll find another one later on that's a level 15, but it's the same rifle. Hopefully they won't do that, and it's a little more it's a little bit different of a system than Wildlands, because Wildlands you just had the average of the gun as seen there, like scope, handling, accuracy, etc. You couldn't do much. So this one you're going to have a lot more upgradable parts on the weapons. Of course, so moving on, inventory is pretty straightforward. You get those mini slots. This is your top one for your grenades, mines, flashbangs, etc. Rocket launcher. Can do a lot of damage with that rocket launcher. And then of course the bottom is going to be your health. One thing that's interesting about this one is you didn't have health in Wildlands like health kits. You basically relied on your team to revive you when you got down. So they are introducing health kits, but another interesting thing is so far as we have seen, we are solo. We don't have a team. Now, whether that's going to change as the game progresses, is yet to be known, or I don't know. But one thing is that that mission where we finished with the boat and then we had to go save our friend, the other soldier Hill. Maybe you'll gather your team and it'll start being a team aspect. We'll have to wait and see if they're going to do the team aspect or if you're going to be a solo soldier, more like, again, Division. I would love to see the squad come back. Of course, when you play online, you play in a squad, just like Wildlands. But I'd like to see that if you're playing offline, solo, I would like to see the squad come back. I enjoyed having the squad rather than just having a basically one-man army. So we'll see about that. The other thing I was going to cover was the skill tree, which we have already kind of looked at. So this is different from Wildlands. I think that this will be an added feature that will be fun to incorporate in this game. And of course, here's your more customization. There's your multiplayer lobby. Here you have your general statistics, and you can open emotes for online play. Pre-order now. And then settings. So, it says new. So, objective board looks pretty much similar or familiar with Ghost Recon Wildlands. You've got your unknowns that you got to play through. Of course, Lieutenant Colonel Walker is who you're trying to find, and Jace Skell. And then we just met Maurice Fox in our last mission. And then I have a side mission here. So, looks very familiar to Wildlands here. And then here's the ones that are pretty much on your side over here. Special operations. And then over here is the objectives. So see where the attachments were, your scopes, your barrels, under barrel, all that. Your objectives to find them. See, find the intel to locate new attachments. So as you play through and explore, you'll find the intel for locations of attachments. And investigations is your clues, which was like Wildlands, when you found the clues or notes in Wildlands that told more about the people. So that's pretty much the same. Then you got your collectibles, which I haven't found any on this one yet. I did on my other one. And again, you find collectibles through intel. So we will be going through intel. Weapons. The weapons, again, you can locate new blueprints through intel. And so far I've found this. Now to locate, you can pin it. Oh, it went away. And this is where you go. It is located in the northern part of Finnbog Province in the Behemoth Defense Area in Holmwood Mangrove. I know where that one is actually. I collected it with my other character build. There's the Finnbog. And I believe it is right around this area. I believe that Behemoth, I know there's a base right here, and I believe it was the Behemoth one. I haven't. So that's how you find it. Some of them won't be that specific. Like this one, it's in the northern part of Mount Hodgson and the Bald Peak Mine, north of Forden Wood and east of Stag Ridge. Okay. So, okay, so Mount Hodgson, Bald Peak Mine. Okay, there's Stag Ridge right there. So, it's going to be a lot of exploration, which will be really fun. It'll give many hours of entertainment. It will be it will not be a quick play game unless you just want to maybe just rush through the campaign, the missions. But it ought to be, it's going to be, definitely looks like there's going to be a lot of content upon release. Really looking forward to the content on release. So here's Stag Ridge. Eden Forest. Okay, north, east of Stag Ridge. So to the east. And there's your compass on the side. So north, west, east, and south. So there's Stag Ridge. It says the east of it, so it would be most likely to this area. And have to go explore there to find the SC-20K blueprint. And once you find it, the boxes you open, it unlocks it. You don't have to go to and do like a crafting like you do in Division 2. You just have the gun unlocked as soon as you pick it up. So that's about it for the features and the differences. As we play and I notice different things, I will talk about it. But now I'm just going to play through and go explore and go do some side missions. Maybe try to find some new guns. And one thing I'll be showing is this sign you see above the campfire there. You can find those located in the map. And when I find one, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. And when you find one and you unlock it by making camp, then you can fast travel throughout the map. I know there's like 3. I mainly searched about this area with my last character build, so I know there's like 2 or 3 in this vicinity, and then you can fast travel to each one. And there's different things you can do at the campfires and the fast travel locations. I'll get into that once I find some and show you. So basically campfires are like in Wildlands. You had the rebels hideouts, basically the same thing, just it's making camp instead of rebel hideouts. So again, looks like there's going to be a lot of features upon release. Looks like it's going to be a good game. Lots of fun. Lots to do. Really looking forward to this release. So here we go. Let's get started.
You know,
Let's
everything's
go
gone to shit
explore.
since Sentinel got here.
Right now, I think I'm going
no,
to
still was
do
fine.
the
A
mission
little to get used to,
Sinking
but at least they were
Country,
trying to do
One
good.
Man's
You
Hell.
have to admit, a world
Locate
without
Samuel.
war, poverty, with drones doing all the hard labor,
He is in
wouldn't
the
be so bad.
Sinking Country. But I think I have... I already got it on there. So... let's go explore, and that's going to be where I'm heading. That's my objective, but I am going to explore on the way, and if any other side missions or anything come up,
Don't you mean
I will
Scout?
probably maybe do them. I'm just going to go out there and see what's out there. The one thing too is when a question mark comes on your mini map, that's a place to explore, just like it was in Wildlands. When you got those question marks, that armadillo's still there. If you watch my previous videos, then armadillo's still there. By the way, I did 2 other videos. If this is the first one you're watching, I did 2 other videos covering the beta release. I did the first 3 missions in 2 videos. So I will put the links in the description. So please be sure to check those out. Yeah, you can pick up plants in this one, like I just did. They're throughout the forest. If anyone has played Metal Gear Solid 5, really reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 5, the crafting, the picking up of plants, plants you use for crafting, health. We will go through crafting in more depth, more detail later on. But just the look and feel reminds me of, feels like a little bit of Metal Gear Solid in here too. So one thing I figured out playing this one, and see there's that question mark I was talking about. If you look at the lower right hand map, I explored this area earlier in a previous video I did, and it went from a question mark to a little circle. It did look like that big white question mark, and now it looks like that. So that little eye looking circle in it. So I think that means you have already explored that area of interest. There was a box right there. I looted that box right there. So there's an enemy helicopter. One thing I've noticed, I don't know if it'll be in the final release or not, but one thing I've noticed is helicopters seem to see you a lot quicker, faster, and easier in this one than they did in Wildlands. So I am about to go explore that question mark. I still haven't figured out what it means if the box is on the move. So I may learn about that eventually. But when you see a box, right now it's moving. Like I said, I haven't quite figured out how to catch up to it when it's moving. But if you see a box that's moving like that, if you see a box that looks like that, that's where your weapons and accessories are located. That's what you have to open for them. And I know I'll find several of those, so. Where did I leave that vehicle? Sorry, I got lost. I got turned around. This jungle is confusing me. So let's head to that question mark and start exploring Ghost Recon Breakpoint, due out October 4th. There's a box I was talking about up there. My mini map. located to the north of me. Let's go see what weapon or accessory is in it. And sometimes it's skill points. Well, skill points as this game calls it. Okay, as we just found with Intel, that's what I was talking about, base camps. As you can see, you can fast travel. This is what I was saying was like, the rebel places in Wildlands. So, you can deploy biovac at any location, at any camp location. And this is where you do your crafting and a few other things you can do. So this is a bit different. Really, like I was saying before, this really reminds me more of Metal Gear Solid 5. So you can do one of these activities. And it will give you bonuses. So, depending on the activity you choose, I tried doing all of these in one setting, and it just removes, like if I was to say to eat right now, the injury resistance would go up 20%. If I was to hydrate, drink water, the fatigue resistance would go up. But you cannot combine, at least at this time, two of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do XP bonus. So as you can see, resources, again, XP bonus 10% for 60 minutes. And like I said, I can't combine those two. So if I was to come back over here and go ahead and eat or hydrate or do a tech review, etc., I would lose my XP bonus and then get whichever other one I chose. And then tactics, that's where you can check your loadout, where you can see your rank up challenges. You also have Ghost War challenges for your class. You can work on perks. Looks like I can... Nope, that one's still unlocked. Unlock slot and skill tree. I'm not there yet. But you can see what you have, and then you can work on your presets and your gear and your weapons. Pretty much your loadout. Now, craft is where you get into crafting. So this is different than Wildlands. Probably closer to Division 2. I can craft some C4 explosive and see from those plants I was picking up, I can craft that C4. So now I got a C4 charge if I equipped it. You can equip frag, health syringe, and then over here you can you can craft your basic health, endurance, stamina, accuracy, reload speed, health regain speed, recovery ration. I don't have the materials to do it. And so the first section for the frag and so forth is right there. I do not have the C4 that I just crafted equipped, but I would equip it up here. And then down here is where you have your health and where I could equip see, projection, temporary buff, throw range 25%, stamina cost. And that's where I could equip these materials that I craft. So you find crafting materials by exploring the world, and usually it's those plants that we picked up. And like I said, the way the plants look in the environment and the visual effects and the graphics, just even the way the crafting works, it really reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 5. So that's what you do here. I do not have garage unlocked. It says you have to buy a vehicle, an Airwan. I have not done that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here and upload it. This video was really looking at the differences between Breakpoint and Wildlands, and kind of showing where they definitely put a lot of mechanics and so forth from Division 2 that I think if they incorporate the way that they have it in the beta version, I think it'll work. That's not deterring me from the game at this time. I just hope they keep that gear score simple and to the point, And again, I hope you don't have to find the same gun, 3-4 different times to level it up. Hopefully you just find it, then you can work on finding the material and level it up at your own pace, instead of finding multiple of the same weapon with higher gear score. So that, like I said, I want to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, and the beta ends in about 24 hours. So I'll have time to record one more video. And in that video, I'm going to do a lot more playthrough. I'm not going to stop and show the different aspects and so forth as I have in this one. Next one's just going to be world exploration, looting, finding intel, and doing side missions. And just do as much as I can in a video. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, and seeing the new game coming out and where they're taking it. And I hope you're looking forward to the final release as much as I am. Please like and subscribe. The next gaming videos I'm going to be showing will actually be Gears of War 5, which comes out in just a couple of days on the 10th. So I'll be covering Gears of War 5 next, and that will be an official release. Gears of War 5 comes out on Xbox One and PC on the 10th. Thanks, and please subscribe and like.